Hello and welcome to Enfoque channel. I am Fausto Botelho, broadcasting from Brazil, and here we use our experience in technical analysis and try to extract logical indications of the future behavior of prices, crypto prices. But now we're also considering some stock index prices because I think we're in a very special moment in which the behavior of the American stock indexes is going to influence very much the crypto space. So we're first going to take a look in Bitcoin, see what happened from yesterday to today, and then we're going to see the implications of what I think is a crash that's happening in the US stocks and in the world stocks right now in front of our eyes. So let's go Bitcoin first. Right, let me just check this here. And yes, here we go. That's the Bitcoin chart. So far we have it since 2017. Because if I want to take a look in the big picture, then we'll look at a weekly chart. And that's the one. I've said many times already here in the channel that I think we're in wave 5 of the big bull market. That's taking Bitcoin from nothing, from almost zero to its fair price. So far on that journey, we've made wave 1, ABC wave 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 3, ABC wave 4, and now we're in wave 5. And so far we've seen already wave 1, 2, wave 3, that the one impulsive wave that happened in last year. And since December last year, we're in wave, in my view, we're in wave 4 of wave 5. So what does that mean? That means that we're just before, we're in the eve of the last upward movement that is going to take Bitcoin from here and take it to where? Well, we don't actually know, but we can make some tries. What I've done so far was that I measured the percent variation, percent change from the bottom of wave 2 to the top of wave 3. And it happens that the length of wave 3 equals the length of wave 1. And so I've just projected this length from the beginning of wave 5. And I came to the conclusion that we don't have any reason to believe that wave 5, the one that carries the most euphoria, is going to be shorter than wave 1 and 3. That we're equal. So if wave 5 equals wave 1 and 3, we're heading to $100,000. So that's my expectation. So that's the situation. Now, back to the daily chart. I've also had the chance to say in the channel that I don't think this is a downward descending triangle, because during this period here, we could call this accumulation as a descending triangle, but I think we've had it for the descending triangle whenever the market broke the support level that was here around 6,500, and then it re-entered it. So I think that was it for the possibility for this to be a descending triangle. Another thing, we would be too close to the vertices and descending triangles would give us a break right here, right here in terms of the length of the duration of the descending triangle. And what's the duration? Well, it could last until it get to the vertex, as it's actually doing now, right? He'll have to decide whether he's going to break this resistance line or whether he's going to break the support line. So I think that was it for the descending triangle, and I don't think we're on it anymore. Now, what I think it's important to observe is that we're having higher lows. Higher lows means the bears are not able to make new lows. And if they're not able to make new lows, eventually the bulls are going to be able to make new highs. But so far we're respecting this line. We were, at least until yesterday, when there was this, pump, this upward movement. How are we going to call that? I don't know. Well, there's a lot of talking about Tether. What's going on with Tether, what's going on with Bitfinex, and so on. Of course, we have to consider that, because yesterday when the market had the rally, exchanges that would trade Bitcoin in US dollars went up $800 less than exchanges that only trade Bitcoin for Tether or for stable coins, specifically Tether, of course. So we have to consider that. But I want to talk to you guys about something else that nobody's talking, nobody's giving the correct importance to what's going on. And here's what's going on, my friends. Last week's video, I spoke about the S&P being in the situation here in which it is going up since March 2009, and so far we can see from far away that we're watching, right? We could easily see wave 1, ABC wave 2, wave 3, ABC wave 4, and we would be in wave 5 now. And these, oh my God, these really resembles a double top. So if we had a double top here, then what's going to happen is that we're going to see a correction, a Fibonacci correction to at least 0.382, right? 38% correction. 318, which is 32% correction. The point is that, exponentially speaking, to reach the first corrective level of Fibonacci, market would still fall another 35%. So from today, it could lose a third of its value, meaning that the world would lose a third of its richness. Yes, and if that happens, all world economy is going to halt, is going to decrease. So less commodities are going to be consumed, less oil is going to be consumed, less gold. Let us remember that before being a store of value, gold is a commodity as well as silver, right? And as well as cryptos. So that's the question. How commodities are cryptos? Think about that. Well, one thing for sure, this, if I'm right, I may say this crash that is happening right in front of our eyes. I'm going to show you the signs here in a second. It's a very special one because it's the first one happening in a world, in a financial world, where you can go for cryptos, where you have this new class of assets which you can carry in your mind, which you can move around the globe just like that. Tons of money. So the flight for quality that happens whenever all the other crashes that we've seen, that I've seen, and that I've studied. I wasn't there in 29, but I was in in all the others we could see. The flight for quality would be for the money that was in risky instruments to move back to the US and to the safety of the treasury bills of the US, right? Which is something that should be happening now. But today, there's the possibility for some of it to diverge and land in the crypto space. Why would it diverge? Because of all the benefits that you guys probably know that cryptos have. But also because, as I showed in the last video, the US is owing $21 trillion. And with interest rates going up, breaking resistance level to take it to a technical analysis point of view. Maybe being in dollar is not the smartest decision one could make nowadays. So only if, and I think there's a good possibility that it really happens, but if a small portion of the money that is in stocks today diverge to cryptos, that's a huge increase in cryptos. For you to have an idea, all the market cap of NYSE, New York Stock Exchange, is 21 trillion. Let's have a look on that. I've got a site open here just to show you guys. See, here it goes. $24.24 trillion is market cap of New York stocks, right? Location symbol, New York stock. So if 1% of that goes into crypto, we're talking about $242 billion, okay? And just remembering that the market cap of all cryptos is $210 billion. So 1% of the stocks, the money that is in stocks, moving to cryptos would just double the market cap of cryptos. Okay, and I could carry on and on about the possibility of other capitals like gold, silver, and a lot of other things that could come into cryptos. And why am I saying that? Well, just because, as I told you, I'm seeing a crash happening right in front of our eyes. And why is a crash, Fausto? Why wouldn't it be just a normal bear market? Sorry. Well, because as we know, after 28, where all the American banks were broke, the Fed injected quantitative easing money into the market, and that flood into the stocks, and that's what's happening. That's what happened, right? A upward movement in the S&P. An upward movement of approximately 270%. And as I showed you, there's a possibility, especially because this support line is being broken, It's already broken, and I think we're flagging down here. We're going to be seeing a downward flag, and then the market is coming down, and that could be very quickly. Last week we were here, and I told you guys about the major indication the market was giving us, which was this bull trap. Was a bull trap situation in which a very important resistance level like this one. This is the mother of all resistance. Take a look at that. That's all the all-time high of the market, of the most important stock index, the S&P 500, right? So that was a huge resistance line, right? Why was that? Because last time the market touched it, it felt 12% in days, right? So what happened this time was that the market broke this level and then re-entered this level, tried to broke again and then re-entered. And we were here last week, this candle here, and I was expecting exactly that to happen. That's what I commented in the video, and so far it is happening. And now what I'm expecting is for the market to correct Fibonacci. How fast could that be? I don't have the slightest idea, but I could talk to the market. I love to talk to the market and ask him things, like for instance, hey, S&P, what have you done in the past? Whenever you crashed, how were your downward trends? Oh, well, Mr. Botelho, in 2008, I did something like that. Look at that. Yeah, I did something like, come on, let me grab you. I did something like that, okay? Right? You guys copy that? From here to here. So that could happen too. And there's other precedents for something like that to happen. These similar, not as big, but we have other situations too. See, very similar. That's in 73, 74. So if that happens, we're going to be there. I mean, the world could lose a third of its richness in months. We could be there in, let me read here in the time scale, in the first day of of 2019, January the 1st, 2019, we could already be here. So that could be very, very fast. So that's why I'm saying that some people might take their money out of the markets, the stock market, and put it in Bitcoin. And I'm talking just a tiny little bit of it, because if I talk about the market capitalization of listed domestic, I think that's current US dollars. Well, that, my friends, that goes to $79 trillion. So 1% of $79 trillion, $791 billion. $791 billion. I'm talking about 1%. So that's what I think we should be talking about, because that's huge. That's very important. And what have we seen happening in Bitcoin? Well, it felt, and then people were talking about Tether, because Tether, Bitfinex, or I don't know what, but maybe it's not Tether, maybe something else. Maybe it's just the beginning of this divergence of flight and some landing of other capitals into the crypto space. Let us not forget that New York Stock Exchange owner ICE, Intercontinental Exchange, just announced a month ago the creation of BACT. Let us not forget that we have a futures contract supported by Chicago Mercantile Exchange, the biggest exchange in the world. Let us not forget about all the banks that are, putting their fat eye in the crypto space. So mainstream is coming. Wall Street is coming. So maybe what we've seen yesterday was the beginning of it. So, I apologize. I'm a technical analyst, and I've been talking fundamental analysis, or I would say intermarket analysis this whole time. Let us see what Bitcoin is showing us in the chart, right? So, back to the market here. Yeah, well, before that, let me just tell you that we're also seeing the same thing happening in Dow Jones. This is a chart that I carry from 1913, when the CPI started to be calculated, and this is 29. This is the bear market that started in 66 and lasted until 82. This is the dot-com bear market. This is the subprime, and there you go. And this is well, I have to say this is a chart where we take inflation out using CPI. So this is a deflated chart. We index this chart to CPI. So it's Dow Jones divided by CPI, which creates this chart quoted in dollars, because we take this value, for instance, here in 1982, and divide by the CPI index of this time, of this day, and multiply it by CPI index of today. So we take it to real value, we take it to today's value using the index of CPI, which counts the inflation. So we discount the inflation doing that, right? So what's happening with the Dow in the daily chart here? We just had a beautiful reversal pattern, a evening star in Bitcoin with a dodgy candle, and then that happened, and I think that's a downward flag as well. But the other thing I want to show you, yes, and Nasdaq too. Use Nasdaq, and well, Nasdaq is well above the 2000 peak, and this upward movement was 650% approximately, much more than Dow and the S&P upward movements. But you see, it also doing the same indication. We broke the support line here. That's the support line that comes from 2016. We still didn't break this one from below, but I think we're going to get there. If we draw Fibonacci lines here, correction Fibonacci lines, we would then realize that the Nasdaq has some more to fall, around 48%, 49%, almost 50%. It still has to fall in order to correct just the first Fibonacci correction level, which is around 3,500. So, but what I wanted to show you is here world indicators, and I want to show you the 10-year view. That's a weekly chart, and see, well, that's my Elliott wave counting, doesn't matter here, but what matters is that you must see this resistance line level, one bottom here in 2003, another bottom in 2009, another bottom top here in 2011, top in 2014, another top this year, and we break it. The market broke it. Yeah, break it. Just break it. And up we go. And with those $21 trillion of debt of the US, what happened is that 1% here means $210 billion more that US will have to pay just for interest rates. So that's why I say that maybe staying in dollar is not a good idea, you know. So that's it. Now about Bitcoin, the end of it is that we had this pump, the market came down, but I'm sorry, this hasn't closed yet, our chart. We're working in Enfoque to have our close at UTC time, but for the moment, we're showing closes at 3 hours later than UTC. So we close here at midnight in Brazil, which is 3 o'clock UTC time. But anyway, you can see the bar, you can see what's happening, right? This has closed, and the market closed right in this resistance line. I told you already, this is a very important resistance line because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dots, 5 touches in the line, and another one now. So the market didn't break this support line here, and it's testing, and it closed in the resistance line, but it had this huge wick here, this huge upward shadow, which could eventually be bearish. But no, if it would be bearish if it would have happened after a climax rally or something. But as it's happening within this accumulation, it just doesn't show too much, right? So we have to wait, and that's the reason I waited until this time to produce the video, because I wanted to know if we would have some indication, some clues about what's happening after the close, right? So it's 11:20 now in Brazil. It's 2:20 UTC time of October 16. That's the time. But in Brazil, still the 15, 10, 11 o'clock and 20 minutes p.m. So we don't have a clue about what happens, except for the fact I'm showing you the 60-minute. I'm showing the hourly chart, right? Except we don't have a clue, except for the fact that it found support right in the resistance line. I remember you guys that's a very important support line. So we go to the hourly chart, we see that it had support right over the line. So it's a vote for these being only a pullback to the former resistance line. So if we see the market start going up from here, then, my friend, that's it. It broke the resistance line, and up it goes. Up it will go, because as I showed you in the beginning, we're in wave 4 of wave 5. We're just about to enter wave 5. And believe me, if I'm right, if we're entering wave 5 of wave 5, that's when Bitcoin is going to go up fast and wildly. You wait and you see if I'm right, if we're entering wave 5 of wave 5. But of course, I may be wrong. It may fall. I was talking with my kid today, and he was explaining Bitcoin to a friend, and he was saying that, the mother, my wife, actually asked, well, but Bitcoin may fall even more. And he said, well, mommy, it depends. It's testing the 6,000 level. If it breaks this level, it will go to 3,000. It will fall 50%. Yes, it will. It could. Yes, but then all my counting, my Elliott wave counting was wrong, and and I don't think it's wrong. That's the point. Yeah, I got a friend, and I talked to my friend, which is very good, to exchange some ideas with a guy that knows technical analysis as much as I do. So it's a very rewarding situation. So let's wake up tomorrow, or let's follow the market close and see what's going to happen. So now I just to finish, I just want to tell you guys that so far we've made 2 calls today, actually. One for Binance, and I'm going to read it for you. We had a drift here, and then the market touched the support level, and then it went up. It broke already this pretended resistance line, and these other pretended resistance line. It's probably doing a pullback here in our view, and it was at the time of our call. It was in the highs. So stop is below here, and objective is 0.0019. And the other stock that, the other coin that we recommended buying was Monero, that broke this resistance line and was doing a sort of what we thought was a symmetrical triangle over here. But then it came to this support level, you see, and it goes over here too. There's a lot of support, but more specifically, if we zoom it here, you see that it's the top of what I think was I don't think it was a double bottom here, because it reached the objective of the double bottom here, right? So it broke this resistance line before it made a double bottom, broke the resistance line, and it's accumulation. And I think this accumulation is a continuation accumulation. Within this accumulation, I see a drift when the market tests the support level. Now I see today we've seen a reversal with an engulfing pattern. So I just think the market is probably going to be touching the resistance of what I think is going to be called a rectangle, upward rectangle in the near future. So that was the trade. Still time to catch it. So my friends, this is it. Long video today. We're gonna be keeping our eyes widely open, taking a look at what's happening in the market. Well, I'm going to sleep now. I have to wake very early tomorrow to travel, but I'll be keeping an eye on it. Thank you very much for watching the video until now. If you liked what you've seen, please help us spread the word about the channel. Tell your friends, share in your groups, and of course subscribe if you didn't yet. Touch the bell so you're going to be advised whenever we produce another video. And if you want, you can send a WhatsApp message. For the moment, we're starting our Telegram channel, but for the moment you can send a WhatsApp message for our number, which is described in the description below, and then you start to receive our calls. You have people. I lead a team with my 41 actually years of experience in technical analysis, and of course we'll try to give you the best the best indications. That's it. Thank you very much. See you next time.